Hey guys, welcome to another Gauging Gadgets review video. In this video, we have the VANKYO Burger 101. So this is a super mini portable projector. It features an internal battery, so it's super portable and you can use it on the go. And it also supports 1080p and 3D video. All that for about $190 on Amazon, so check the link in the description to find that price. Let's go ahead and open it up and check it out. It comes in a nice cardboard box, and I like that because you can recycle it. And while I'm getting this open, just want to thank VANKYO for sending me this projector to test. Thank you very much. Alright, so as you can see, in the box we have a really nice VANKYO case. So this projector is meant to be portable, and they include a case that has the VANKYO logo on it. This is a very protective feeling case. On the case you also have a carabiner, so you can attach this to your luggage or something like that if you want to make it even more secure. Go ahead and get this opened up. Alright, so inside the case, a remote control, and this takes AAAs, they're not included, a male-to-male HDMI cable, looks like a wall adapter for charging, and this is charged via micro USB, so a very standard cable, which means if you're going to be bringing this on the go with you, you don't have to bring a special cable with you. I really like that. That makes it extremely convenient. Some support information, a very hefty owner's manual, and then under this little flap right here, we have the actual projector and an included tripod. So as you can see, the projector is surprisingly small here. Get it out of this bag. Wow. That looks awesome. Very tiny. So it's actually about 4 inches by 4 inches and about an inch thick. So very small. You could almost fit this in your pocket. This is going to be very easy to travel with or mount anywhere. Taking a look at the front right here, it looks like we have the actual lens of the projector. There is no lens cover. Then we have what looks like to be a receiver for the remote. And then probably some heat displacement or the speaker right here. A nice VANKYO logo on the front as well. I like this design. It kind of looks like eyelids opening up. Very cool looking. Then on the top, there's not much up here except for a nice design. In the back, we have the audio out, which is going to be 3.5 millimeter, HDMI out, USB. So this is probably where you attach a flash drive to input media into the projector, an on and off switch, and then a micro USB plug for powering the device and charging it. On the left side here, looks like we have a power button, some vents for heat displacement, and then a knob for focusing the picture. On the right side, we have just some holes for heat displacement. On the bottom, we have a nice rubber ring that adds some grip to it. Really adds some nice grip to the bottom of it when you have it on a surface. But you also have a standard 1/4-inch tripod mount right here, so you can attach this to any standard tripod on the market, which is really cool. Very convenient there as well. You also have some information on the bottom. As you can see, the internal battery is actually 5,200 milliamp hours. Alright, so now that we've taken a closer look at the VANKYO Burger 101, let's go ahead and check out some of the accessories that were included. The tripod here is just your standard, very small tripod. With it standing up like this, it's about 5 inches tall. It does seem to be somewhat stable, but it also seems to be a little bit fragile. The legs don't come out too far. You can lock it in place, so you can kind of adjust this wherever you need it. Tighten this right here, and then it will kind of lock it in place as well. It's fairly easy to connect to the bottom. And it has this nice base right here that's on the bottom of the mount, so that it creates a nice base for the projector so that it can sit nice and flat. As you can see, this is very easy to get flat, and it is very stable. So the tripod works great. Looking at the wall adapter here, this is a 3-amp plug, so you could use this for your phone as well, and it's going to be a quick charger. The cable right here is going to be your standard USB to micro USB, and it looks to be about 4 feet long. The remote control has a power button menu, you have a 3D button, then you have some volume controls, zoom, a home button, and then you have the directional controls with an OK button. It's a very light and cheap feeling remote control. And then taking another look at the case, you have this nice pouch where you could fit all the accessories, and then this nice very soft flap that protects the projector as well as the tripod. But really, this is a very cool case, and this would probably be about $20 if you bought it on its own, so it definitely adds some value to your purchase. Alright, so now that we've taken a look at everything, I'll go ahead and turn this on and we can see exactly how it works. Then we'll test it and I'll show you some footage of it working. We'll also go through some of the menus so you get a good idea of all the different settings that are available, including features. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Here, a little fan. And then I'll press the on button right here. Alright, you can hear the speaker, projector is turning on, lights coming out of it. So just as a quick example, this is the actual dashboard, the home screen, if you hit the home button on the remote. And as you can see, you have several different options here, including YouTube, which is interesting. So this has the ability, it's kind of like smart TV in itself. You also have some casting abilities from iOS, and then Miracast, including media and HDMI. I'm going to go ahead and go into the settings. We can see that. So the first option is going to be network, and that's where we can connect this to a Wi-Fi network, and then we'll actually be able to communicate with the internet and do things such as stream YouTube, anything like that. Very, very cool. Next we have projector, where you can change the brightness mode. And there are 3 modes in there: energy saving, customize, which is the user settings, and then we have standard. After that we have some advanced settings such as the language, the boot source, so you can determine if when you turn this on it automatically goes to whichever source you want it to. Sleep timer, local update and online update, this is where you can do a firmware upgrade of the device, and then also a factory reset. And then next we just have some information about it, including the model number, how much memory it has. Looks like it has 2 gigabytes. The capacity for external storage is 2 terabytes, and then the software version. So real quick, I'm going to get this connected to my Wi-Fi network. Then after that, we can test out some of the internal smart capabilities such as YouTube. It looks like it only has the ability to connect to 2.4 gigahertz network, so no 5G network there. All right, so I'm connected to my network. I'm just going to go ahead and check and see if there are any updates available online. Looks like I have the latest firmware. Going back to the home screen, we can test something on YouTube.
This was by far the most challenging motorbike trip I had ever done in my entire life. Yet at the same
As you can see, the picture is very clear. Let's see how high the volume gets.
When we landed in India, we spent the first 2 weeks in and around Delhi, eating its famous street and getting to know giving away my sponsors money to feed a few hundred people in the local slums.
Alright, so as you can see, I currently have the Burger 101 about 6 feet away from my projector screen, and the projection is actually extremely clear. It looks great. I currently have a Roku Stream Stick plugged into the HDMI connector, and then it's being powered by the USB connector. It seems to be working great, so that's awesome. Allows it to be even more portable. The Burger 101 also has the ability to play 3D videos. So there's actually quite a few of these available on YouTube, and they're in 1080p, so you can play them there for free. Now the way you do it is simply play the video, but then once you're in the video, just press the 3D button on the controller, and you'll have the option to switch between side by side. So as you can see, it's doing a side by side of that 3D video, and is projecting it in 3D. So if you were watching this with active 3D glasses, you would actually be able to see this in 3D. It also has the option to do top-bottom 3D effects as well. So depending on the type of video you have, it can cover side-by-side and top-bottom. And there you go, you can turn it off. So very easy to turn it on and off using the controller for the projector. One last quick thing I wanted to show you with the Burger 101 was actually the really cool ability for it to automatically set the keystone. So the keystone is actually how you adjust kind of the wonkiness of the projector screen if you're projecting at an angle. So the top will be thin, the bottom will be wide, things like that. But as you can see, if I change the angle on this, so affect the keystone, it automatically kind of flattens it out so it looks good. It's really cool, and it's actually pretty quick. So as I move it, it'll go ahead and just change it so that it actually looks like a rectangle, like a TV screen, and this makes it much more portable and easier to use when you're on the go. Alright, so as you just saw in my test of the Burger 101 projector, the projection was actually really clear, really easy to see, the colors were vibrant, and the contrast was also really good as well. I chose the trailer for Predator because it's a dark video, so I figured that would give you a good idea of the contrast and how it would look if you're watching movies that have scenes that are dark. Now with the projector about 6 feet away from the screen, the actual projection was about 66 inches from corner to corner, which is actually a really large screen. The brightness was great. I felt there was no issues with the brightness of the Burger 101. The only area I would say it's lacking a little bit is going to be the internal speaker, but that's kind of to be expected with something this small. You could always plug in a pair of headphones or an external speaker, even a little portable speaker if you wanted to. Most of those have auxiliary plugs in them as well. One thing I do want to point out, up on the top right here, I said this was just a design. There is an LED indicator for when you charge the device. It turns blue and it will turn off when it's fully charged. Another thing I was really impressed with was how easy it is to turn on and use the 3D video. And it actually worked great with the standard free video that's on YouTube, which is really cool because for less than $200, you basically have a 3D TV now. Very awesome. I really enjoyed that. The automatic keystones are also really cool, where if you set up the projector, it'll automatically fix the keystones, and it really does a better job than I could do myself within seconds automatically. So really cool there and very impressive. Focusing the projection with this little knob is also very easy, and the knob's pretty loose, so it's really easy to quickly change the focus and get it to stay exactly where you want it. Another thing I was very impressed with out of this tiny projector was that I was able to power the Roku Stream Stick using the USB connector. So that makes it extremely portable. If you charge this up, it has enough output to actually power external video devices, so very cool there. A couple other things worth noting. I tested the ability to plug media in via flash drive or an external hard drive to the USB connector right here. And it was very responsive. They have a very nice GUI that allows you to navigate through different files or folders and then select the one you want. So I found that to be really good. When it comes to Miracast, where you can share your device screen with the projector, such as like an Android phone or iPhone, I was only able to test it on an Android phone, and I was never actually able to get it to work. I made sure I was in the same network as the projector. I tried to use the built-in cast feature on my Pixel 2, and I also downloaded a couple apps for Miracast, but with no success. So I'm not sure what's actually going on there and why it wasn't working, but it did not work for me in my testing. And then lastly, with the projector screen and getting it to focus, like I said, it's very easy. But one thing I found really cool is I was able to actually have the projector be less than a foot away from the screen that it was projecting on, and it was able to get in focus. So if you're in a really tight space, but you still want to watch TV using the projector, you can do that using the tripod and maybe just like a piece of paper and have it be less than a foot away and still be able to watch the screen. So really cool there. And that just adds to the flexibility and the usability of the VANKYO Burger 101. So overall, extremely impressed with the Burger 101. You get a really nice case, a tripod that's included. The projector is extremely light and small, so extremely portable. It's also very easy to use with the remote. I found the remote to be extremely responsive. They have receivers for the remotes on the back and the fronts, so you don't have to worry about any issues there with responsiveness from the remote. And then the settings and dashboards are easy to navigate. They're self-explanatory, so there's no getting lost really. You can also update the firmware of the projector on the device using Wi-Fi. One thing I also think is worth pointing out is that the fan on this is not too loud. So really I can't find that many negatives about this device. It works great, it's easy to use, and it's extremely portable. If you have any questions about the VANKYO Burger 101 projector, leave a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I'm going to add an Amazon affiliate link so you can find this exact projector on Amazon. If this video helped you, give it a thumbs up. And please consider subscribing to my channel, Gauging Gadgets, more gadget reviews and tech tutorials. Thank you so much for watching.